This week I wanted to introduce you to a very special guest. I'm sure you've all been watching the Tokyo Summer Olympics over the past few weeks. Well, let me introduce you to Apple Valley resident and new Olympic medalist, Megan Jastrab. Hello, Megan.
Hi, how are you doing?
We're just fine. I'm fine. This is amazing. I think you did unbelievable.
Thank you so much.
You know, one of the questions that I've always had that's not even on the script is what's your motivation that pushes you through to make you as good as you are?
Yeah, I think my motivation comes from a lot of things, but I've always had big goals whenever I was younger and everything, and going to the Olympics was probably my biggest goal as a child and growing up in sports. So I think just knowing what you can achieve and then knowing that you can go past those goals and even achieve more has always just got me out of bed and to train and to eat right, to go to sleep early, do everything right and stuff like that. Just at the thought of achieving something great.
And one of the interesting things too might be what actually got you started. Was there something that maybe happened in Apple Valley? We put on the tour periodically. Was that one of the motivating factors to get you started?
The Tour of Victorville was the start of my career, but it was my first organized ride, race. But my dad actually raced a little bit in college, and he would go on local group rides. And my brother and I always saw him going on rides and stuff. And we were like, can we go with you? But he was a little hesitant. My mom was also a little hesitant about the cars and the traffic. So he put us on the Apple Valley BMX track in the Horseman Center. So my brother and I did BMX for 2 years or so. And I raced there, and I think I was probably 7 to 9. And then we took a break, did some other sports, and then I think around age 11, my brother and I were like, please let us ride with you on the road.
Interesting.
And my parents gave in, and we started road riding with them.
That's fantastic. It's amazing that you started locally, pretty much, isn't it? One of the other things that's interesting too is I always thought, you could have taken up running. You could have done 5Ks. It could have done marathons, things like that. Why biking? Is it because, to me, biking was about easier on the legs, not the pounding, but you get the exercise and the cardio? Is any of that a factor with you?
Yeah, I actually did run track and field and cross country for around 4 years, I would say. I loved it more than cycling when I took it up, actually, but just some things worked out where cycling was I was traveling more, I started to enjoy it more, and then, my brother was doing it also, I'm an older brother. And I just kind of took off from there, but I don't know if it was anything different from the physical aspect of it, but there's just something about it when you get on a bike that it's so natural for me that it's just like riding a bike. It's just something that you can go out and do, have fun with friends, travel to races, meet different people, so it's just a whole different world.
I would assume you do the mountain biking, that kind of routine, and I know that that's not just downhill, that's up and down, and it's at a higher elevation. Does that build your strength and help you in training?
Yeah, I do road racing, track racing, and mountain biking. So it's been a whole different world on each event, and each bike you can change, the courses, the duration, the training is completely different for every event. Track cycling is normally you do training on the velodrome and on the road. So there's not much mountain biking, but we'll do intervals that we go uphill, we'll do intervals that are flat, longer rides, shorter rides. Then the velodrome you do motor pacing behind a motorcycle. And it just depends on what your goal is and what races you're doing. So the training tailors to that and where you are in your season.
And I've got to ask this question. You must have trained almost every single day for how long to get to this point? That's got to be a common question.
A lot of hours. A lot of hours. Normally we would get 1 day off per week. That was our coach leading up to games for the last year. I think I could always trust him 1 day off on the weekend. But normally, even so, I would maybe go out for a spin ride. A recovery day is still you're riding your bike for an hour just to flush out the lactic acid out of your legs, just keep it going and stuff like that, and so your body doesn't shut down for the week. But yeah, it's probably been I think I started taking seriously and believing that I can make the Olympics 2018 I had a goal of, I think, so it was 2 years.
Yeah.
But I didn't come into the program until 2020, so it was 6 months before the games, and I was let's just do this. The coach and the national team was I think you can make this, possibly, if you commit to it, so.
And now that I don't know what the feeling is. I don't know if you can describe the feeling of getting a medal. Also, let us know, now that this part of your life is over and you've got your first medal, you've got to have some relief and also maybe some motivation to move on. What's your next steps?
Yeah, so getting a medal was an incredible feeling. Like, I was the 5th rider for the team pursuit, and I wasn't expecting to ride. Like, you can ride 5, but like how I was going, stuff like that. I knew I was doing really well and stuff, but my event was the Madison, and that was a couple days later. But I got the call to or not the call, I was already in Tokyo, but like, they're like, you're going to be riding the round 1 and then finals. So that was an incredible feeling to be part of the team, because I've been living with these girls for the last year and a half, training with them, so we know the ins and outs of each other. So to come away with a medal was just an incredible feeling, to be able to finish the race and hug the girls, go on the medal stand, like go through the media. Everything was just an incredible experience. Yeah, so my next steps are I'm flying out on Tuesday to go to the Netherlands. I'll be in the Netherlands and racing with my road team, Team DSM. I'll go to Spain, race there, and then after that I'll go back to school in Tennessee.
Oh, wow. Wow. Any particular major or anything you're looking at?
I'm double majoring in business and exercise science.
Oh, very good. Excellent. Yeah. Oh, that fits right in.
Yeah.
That fits right. One other question is, if you're a young athlete, you're in high school, maybe younger, maybe older, I know they need the motivation to continue on. What would you say to that person?
I think setting goals for yourself is a big part of it. I know whenever I was younger and I first got into athletics, or whenever I first saw the Olympics on the TV, I just realized that the level that people can perform at, and just it inspired me to be like, oh, there's something I can do at this level. It's televised on TV, the greats are all on there, and it really inspired me to continue with sport and to see what I'm good at. And I think right now at a younger age, I played probably over 10 sports and just tried out everything, just made sure I enjoyed it. Like the only rule was that if you started it, you finished the season. Like you didn't quit halfway through, because you never know what can happen. Just enjoying the ride and enjoying the experience. If you find something that you love, you'll be more motivated to continue training and training hard through it. Because when you have an end goal, like if it's the championship for your team, if it's getting selected for the team on varsity or JV, or just performing at one of the games because you get the opportunity, it's just understanding that every day is not going to be perfect, and you might want to quit one day. The next day you might be like, oh, I'm going to go out and run an extra mile, or whatever it is. On those low days, I think it's some of the most challenging parts, because you're questioning if you're good enough, if you're going to ever get out of it, why am I doing this? Is it for my parents? Is it for the team, friends, whatever it is? But in the long run, if you got into it and you fell in love with it in the beginning, that it will get better, and it just might take some time. Understanding that it will get better, and
yeah, and that's really interesting, because that's good motivation and good advice. And it not only is it in sports, but it's also in workplace, business, everything. That's life, right? And I think it trains you really well for that.
Yeah, it just takes time, and you just have to understand what your goals are and why you got into it in the first place.
Very good. Excellent advice. Thank you for that.
Of course.
Appreciate it.